Labour Party conference. Dick Spring says opposition for Labour before coalition with Fianna Fáil. 7 men still being questioned after seizure of high-powered sniper rifle. And Pope's visit to Sarajevo goes ahead despite apparent assassination attempt. Good evening. The Labour Party leader Dick Spring has categorically ruled out coalition with Fianna Fáil in the event of an inconclusive outcome to the next general election. He told delegates to his party conference in Limerick tonight he would not be recommending they enter government with what he called the parties of the centre-right alternative, Fianna Fáil and the Progressive Democrats. Mr Spring said Labour should honour the choice they'd made in 1994, which had generated a good government. They should fight for the re-election of the three-party coalition.
There was a pre-election atmosphere in this crowded hall as Dick Spring laid out his electoral stall. It would be all about choices, issues and directions, he said, before going on to make a strong attack on what he called the misery years of the Fianna Fáil PD coalition. They were in sharp contrast, he said, with the performance of the present government.
I will be proud in the general election to share a platform with John Bruton and Francis de Rossa. Each of us is regarded as a strong personality, and some of us are even seen, to my surprise, to have difficulty with compromise. I think we have learned some new skills in the last few years. In the interest of Ireland, we have succeeded in putting aside old rivalries and tensions. We have built trust amongst us instead. We have succeeded in concentrating on the needs of our community.
That inevitably begged the question, what if the coalition didn't win? Mr Spring said responsibility for putting a government in place wouldn't be Labour's alone. They had no interest in being any other party's mudguard or booster system.
We represent people who need their voices to be heard loudly and clearly by a full party, never again by a half party. That's why being junior partner might be good enough for the PDs, but it's not good enough for us. We don't go into office for its own sake. We go into office to get real work done. We go in to make voices heard that otherwise would never be heard. That's why we will not be part of an each-way bet for Fianna Fáil. Fianna Fáil say if we can't have the PDs, sure Labour will be there to make up the numbers. Just as we will never be part of an each-way bet for any other political party.
The Taoiseach just spoke of the choice they had made in 1994 with the formation of the three-party coalition. He told delegates they should now honour that choice and be absolutely committed to it.
And in those circumstances, I must tell you this. I will not, in the aftermath of the next election, come before you to recommend any form of coalition with either of the parties that make up the centre-right alternative, the Progressive Democrats or Fianna Fáil. It will be, delegates, it will be for you to decide, but I would urge you, with all the conviction of my command, that we should go into opposition rather than into government with either of them. In summary, I am saying that we should rule out a Fianna Fáil Labour government in the aftermath of this election. We have made a choice that works in the best interest of the Irish people. We must honour that choice and be seen to honour it.
Turning to Northern Ireland, Mr Spring pledged to work for Sinn Féin's inclusion in all-party talks once an irrevocable ceasefire was in place, and he made a strong attack on the IRA.
Whose cause did IRA thugs think they were serving by causing the cancellation of the Grand National a week ago? And when are Sinn Féin going to realise that no matter what they say, every IRA atrocity leaves an indelible strain on them? And can I say this, and I believe I speak for all of us in Limerick here tonight, I don't care what uniform is worn, what colour it is, who it belongs to. Anyone who tries to kill the mother of 3 children is a murderer. Nobody.
But it was the coming election which dominated this speech. Mr Spring spoke of Labour's social guarantee for the next decade. Among other things, it would secure second-level education for all young people, keep them off the dole until age 21, and generally transform the future development of society. It was not a concept, he said, a PD-style government would understand.
We in the Labour Party have always tried to make a difference. If we have succeeded, when we have succeeded, it has been because of you. Now is the time, now more than ever, for us together to fight for Labour. Fighting for the things we believe in. Fighting to represent the entire community. Fighting to give a voice to those who would have none otherwise. Ladies and gentlemen, in the next few months we will be fighting to prove that Labour makes the vital difference. And I thank you.
This is Donald Kelly at the Labour Party conference in Limerick, handing back to the studio.